how ironic was it to work with Jermaine Dupri, considering that, you know, in your early days you were, you know, working on some crisscross music, and he was behind.
I'll tell you how super ironic this is, and a lot of people don't know the story. Some people close to me. So when I go back, that I was in a group Hash and Cash, right? That came from that. We used to go down. My uncle used to there's a dude named Eddie. There was a A&R for So Def. Used to take us down. I actually was there the day they told us that they was going to decide to sign Bow Wow, and they was telling me about it before we even came out. But I was getting shot as a group with Hash and Cash. We had a demo. So before I flew out that night, this is my hand to God. My mother told me, I don't know what it is, but God is telling me, whoever you're going down here with, this blessing is not meant for them. You're going to have to get it on your own, but you will sign with Jermaine Dupri. When we went down there, they didn't sign us. They turned it down. And it was funny just to sign like about 10 years later. That was right. Like so ironic, and take the crisscross. And that's a true fact. Like
that is crazy.
Nothing is like made up or fixed with that shit.
What a lot of times, and I know you've met different people that you looked up to, you know, when you were coming up. What was it like when you actually had a chance to meet Jermaine Dupri? Did he live up to what you thought? I mean, what was that like?
Yay and nay. First of all, I definitely say shout out to him in a relationship. I say yay and nay because like when you meet somebody, especially, you think this is, especially at that young, you think this is meant to be. You get the thing, you know what I'm saying? Everything is popping. For the first year, so much politics blocked me and Jermaine's relationship, because like what a lot of people don't know is that I was never assigned to So Def, which has probably been a better thing for me. Like knowing
to sign directly to
I was signed directly to Virgin, because we decided, since we sold independent records, to do One Up / Virgin, try to have our own situation. But in a game like that, you know, people like Jermaine, which is bosses, you know what I'm saying, they play for keeps, so it's really their thing. Like they never want to tell you that I only really care about my shit, but that's just how any natural person really will go. If you watch when Jay-Z had Def Jam, all the artists was complaining like he only putting out Rockefeller shit before it flopped. So he was there for Janet and So Def. That's whatever, you know what I'm saying, Janet ran Virgin. Knowing that, I'd have signed straight to him. So me saying that, it took a year and other information from him, me and him, to kick it with ourselves, to go to the club, you know what I'm saying, to kick it in the studio, to get a relationship. I would have wanted that from the jump, so he would know what kind of artist he got. It was just people in the middle. So much like you send a song and there's too much politics that was just going on. Like when records weren't coming out, they told me, instead of me getting to talk to Jermaine and somebody else saying it's going to cost too much to clear the Tupac sample for Off the Record, but then later they want to clear the Biggie joint for the Untouchable joint when we didn't want to push the record. It's just like so much bullshit like that. But after I got to know him, and we got to kick it, like it was around my second mixtape, Yellow Tape, he was telling me how dope I was. He told me one time in the club, and this really touched me, this is real shit. He was like, yo, I just came with envy. I didn't know you was that nice. I'm like, what you mean? I was like, you signed me. He was like, yeah, nigga, I signed you, but I didn't know you was that nice. I really just listened to the whole mixtape with envy. We was sitting there banging and shit. And I was like, you really a jewel. Don't never let nobody change you. Just keep doing what you do, no matter what situations let up. So that was like, looking back, I was like, damn, I had somebody that's really a legend really tell me that, like face to face, no bullshit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Got in the kicker. So, but there's been times like when I lived in Vegas, I caught him at the, he DJing somewhere, I can come through. You know what I'm saying? I've been in Atlanta 4 o'clock in the morning. He let me come through the studio. So that's why I said it ain't no love lost. I just think at that time, we didn't seize the moment. You know what I'm saying? And when we was in the studio together and cut 2 records with no ID, and then we did one with Scotch Torch, I think we was getting closer than that, but it was so much politics happening with that label. They didn't want to say just shut it down. It just didn't make sense no more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I wish
I'm gonna tell them to put me on the rap game though. That's what we're gonna go to season 3.
I wish it had worked out differently. I remember when the situation had broke, I was like, okay, he's ready to do it, because Jermaine Dupri is good at working that game, and I wish that had worked out different.